Hi. Do you like to do myofascial release and fascial integration work? Trigger point work maybe? But it's starting to take a toll on your body. You can feel it. Your body's nagging at you a little bit. I can relate. I barely made it through massage school. In my last video, I showed some roller work with the roller in lengthwise. And today, I'm going to do it horizontally. So if you don't have the swimming pool roller, I'm sure you can get them on Amazon these days. Back in the day when I was looking for the perfect roller, I ended up with a swimming pool roller. And more we're finding out in treating the fascia, it really doesn't like to be smashed and pushed and grinded. The brain, when there's pain when we're working on people, the brain gets this blind spot and doesn't release the way that it could. Another thing is if we enhance our assessment skills so that we can figure out how the knot is tied, that's another way. The idea is sequence determines results. And we can't just arbitrarily untie a knot. So anyway, for today, I always forget to do this, but we'll start low. We want to start to learn to take an inventory of our body. What does it feel like? We need to be our own client first. Connect with ourselves, I believe, through restorative movement and also the body mechanics at the table. There's a whole new way that I learned to do that, which has now allowed me to work for 32 years and still give great sessions. And I live and work pain-free. And I believe it's a possibility, but we can start with less pain. We can start with, let's feel better before, during, and after we work. So, taking an inventory, so I feel a little more on my left side, which means my pelvis is rotated to the left. Not as much as it was yesterday. I'm just going to take a few breaths. And then, for today's magic roller work, because it was a magic roller for me years ago when I was in pain. And the foam rollers that are big, this one's actually soft. You can get this at OPTP. The foam rollers that are big and hard, it was painful for me. I didn't like it, so I didn't do it. But I found this way, and so I'm going to go up and over, and I'm going to kind of lay down, and I'm going to skoosh up so that I'm kind of like at C7 or T1. And I can just start to move my legs from side to side, turn my head the opposite direction. When I first learned this, and then I can send myself up and over to get to a new spot. When I first learned this, actually I don't think we turned the roller on the side. This was something that kind of came to me a little bit. So I'm going to bring my arms up softly. I'm going to bring them up asymmetrical. That's a whole nother thing that we can talk about when we're thinking about movement and how we move to the table. If I put my hands on somebody at the same time versus if I put them on asymmetrically, my body lengthens. And we work with this in the class that I'm going to be teaching in September of the spiraling technique from Aston Fascial Integration. So I'm just I teach my clients, I'm just tossing a salad from side to side. In any place that's sore, a little more sore, like I've got this place on my right side, it's been there a long time. What I've learned about these patterns that we have in our bodies as massage therapists, which we all do, really whether we have pain or not, our body holds a lot of tension and makes a lot of compensations before it ever starts to send a pain message. And then if we've had any accidents or injuries or trauma, it's trauma. for our brain is trauma, and then it wires around the trauma, and eventually, potentially down the line, we have pain, or we know we're not moving as well as we used to, or we're feeling like we can only work on 2 people a day. So I'm just kind of shimmying my way down. Feels so good. When I get to my sacrum, I'm just going to toss my legs up a little bit. Small, tiny, restorative movements, internal, external rotation, dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, circling, listening, learning to listen, rolling to the side. I can get on my tensor fasciae lata a little bit, or just the tensor, really. I could take this down to my legs, but today we're working on the torso and the spine and the ribs. So now I'm going to start to roll onto my side. I can circle my head up and over, and for me, I'm feeling that it's working some tension in my head. So I'm just going to slow down. I'm going to put my hands on my chest and my ribs to keep them integrated. We don't want them popping up. And so if you feel yourself popping up, slow down a little bit. I'm bringing my leg up. I've got something on this right side. 6 car accidents before I was 30. Nothing what people would consider serious, but what I've learned for myself and us as body workers is this accumulation of trauma. So think about your history in your body. Little bow and arrow move, my elbow goes up and over, my head can come back, keeping your chin tucked in. Up and over to the other side. This side on my right, I've got, definitely have some more holding. You could turn yourself over and work the roller right at the arch of the diaphragm where the xiphoid process is. Bring the knees up. Make some side bending motions. Lengthen the arm, roll back. Right there, there's something. What is your daily minimum requirement of movement? And it changes every day. But this routine here that I'm using was something that I used. The story I say is every day for 2 years. And it's not that much of an exaggeration because I had to release the tension. The tension that came from my daily usage. Then I got body work. Actually, back in the day, I just got worked on. I never did anything for myself. But where I really started to be able to move out of pain was when I got body work that was untying the knot that I was in from my history, from what was happening. Then, back in the day, I could do 1 person a day, so I did 1 person every day. Now, Monday, I think I had 5. And I came home and I did this routine of working and releasing the tension. My arms can go the opposite direction. What feels good to you? Where are your nooks and crannies? Underneath the armpit as body workers. Kind of like I'm trying to scratch an itch. Now I'm putting my hand on the roller and pulling myself away, giving it a little traction. Pushing ground force into ground so I can get some different effect on the tissues. And then I'm going to come back down. If I had a little bit bigger roller, or I rolled up this, actually it's not bad. I'm gonna put it under my neck. And now here I'm making sure my ribs are down and lengthening my arms, getting some stretch on our arms. What I've learned is our arms really influence our patterns a lot, and we don't even know it. We know sometimes our hands get tight, but our arms are really important in this too. So I could put the roller under my head. And what makes this restorative is it does fundamental movements that we did when we were developing and getting upright. Okay, that feels really nice. I'm going to roll on my side, take the roller out, roll to my back, and take an inventory. My whole torso feels good. It does feel like my legs are specifically wanting a little bit more release, but that's another time of sharing. So it would be great if you put down in the comments about if you're finding this valuable, if you're starting to do this for yourself. I have an email list that I'm sharing with other massage therapists about how to live and work pain-free. The link will be up in the comments if you'd like to join the list. And I just send these things out more and more when I might be having complimentary Zoom offerings about learning more about Asta mechanics. And then I will be teaching a fascial integration class in hopefully live in September. I want to say the dates are the 21st to the 24th. I probably should know that, but I don't know for sure. But I'll get back to you on that. I really appreciate you watching, and I would love to hear from you and connect with you. Okay.